G'day everybody and welcome to another All Things Essendon video. Today we're going to be going over the Sam Draper situation, have a bit of a discussion about where his contract lies, what he might do for next year, if he does leave, what we might get back, some pros and cons if he does leave and if he stays, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, this is a video dedicated to Sammy Draper today. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. So yeah, if you like this sort of content, please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me, and plenty more Essendon videos coming. So yeah, keep updated for them. So to start off with, just doing a quick little, I guess, bio summary of Sammy Draper and his career so far. So obviously he's 26 years old, was a #1 pick in the 2016 rookie draft for us. I'm pretty sure he'd only played about 8 to 10 months of footy before we drafted him for South Adelaide in South Australia. He was a tall, lanky, he didn't sort of prospect, wasn't that well known to football. I think he played a lot of soccer growing up, and was a big project player for us. He did do 1 or 2 ACLs, didn't he, earlier in his career. Debuted in 2020. Has played 78 games since, and obviously this year he's now an unrestricted free agent, which means if he decides to go, we can't really do much about it. We just get a compensation pick in return, depending on how much the other club pays him, and kind of that's really it. There's no we can't match the offer or anything like that. It's just he's an unrestricted free agent. He gets to go. We get the compensation in return. So that's kind of where his contract situation lies at the moment. So let's have a look at some of his career averages. So almost 10.5 disposals a game, 21.5 hit-outs a game, which is pretty good. 3.5 clearances, 2 marks, almost a goal a game. Those goals a game are going up. He was well on track for his most goals in a season this year. Obviously spending a bit more time forward with Nick Bryan being the solo ruck. So a lot of these have improved in his years at the club. Obviously, he's still, even now, you feel like he's a raw prospect. I know he's 26, but yeah, you feel like he was just really starting to hit his straps and hit his best form. He looked really fit over the 2025 pre-season and was playing really well to start the year until he'd done his Achilles. So yeah, that's kind of where his career averages are at. These are all, I think, will going up and probably will go up as the years go on. And yeah, that's a bit of a snapshot of some of his stats. And now let's go into some pros and cons on if Sammy decides to stay or leave. So the first one is if he stays. So the good, obviously, the #1 ruck for the next 5 years for the Bombers. There's no doubt about that. He would be our best ruckman. Although I know they were doing a bit of Nick Bryan, Sammy Draper combination, but you'd think Sammy will be the #1 if he decides to stay. Obviously, he's a club cult figure. Bombers fans absolutely love him. He's a bit of a larrikin. He has a bit of a laugh on field. I think people enjoy that. He kind of says what he thinks, does what he thinks, which is really refreshing to see. You don't see that a lot in AFL players these days, so that's why he's so popular as a player for fans, and I think obviously a lot of the kids, because of his mullet and that sort of thing, look up to him. So that'll be obviously another good thing if he stays. Plus, you've got a genuine ruck forward option. I do think that although he's a better ruckman than he is a forward, obviously, the forward option is there, and he's a better forward option than Nick Bryan and Vizentini and obviously Goldie. So you do have a ruck forward option if you choose to play 2 rucks, or if he needs to spend some time resting, he can go forward, and he proved with that weird snapshot that he was doing to start the year. He did miss from it, so, at least he can do it. And he's entering his prime. He's 26. Ruckmen take a long time to develop, some of them, and really don't show their best till their late 20s, early 30s. He's entering his prime now, so obviously it'd be a shame to lose him as he's entering that after all the work we've done with him over the last, it's almost 9 years now, isn't it? So you're entering his prime. The other guys are still very young, obviously besides Goldie. So that'll be another good. The bad, obviously, injury prone. I don't know if he's played out a full season yet. He's played, 73 games in 9 years being on the list. In 5 years since his debut, still only 73 games. So he can be very injury prone. Obviously, the Achilles is not something, it's not a soft tissue injury, but still it's a bad injury to have. It can take a while to come back from. He's obviously had some soft tissue injuries as well. So injury prone, can he stay on the park for a full year and then into finals eventually when you want to win a flag? So that's the question you've got to ask. And then the next one obviously goes into, will we overpay? Will we obviously want to keep him that much? Are we paying more than we probably should? Although we have the cap space, you'd think, so it'd be okay. But you don't want to be overpaying players just to keep them. We're Essendon at the end of the day. I know we haven't won a final in 20 years, whatever it is, but we are a big Victorian club. We shouldn't have to do the likes of what the Gold Coast and that do. So, yeah, will we overpay? Not sure. And that obviously might hit into the next one, potentially losing Brian and Vizentini. I wouldn't want to lose them too. If Draper stays, you're probably going to have to lose one unless Goldie retires. So that's going to be a really interesting one to add up as it goes on, and how that kind of the dynamic between the four rucks. Well, actually, there's five when you think of it with Blackiston. Who the hell is going to be on the list at the end of the year? So I don't want to lose Nick Bryan or Vizentini. I think they've both got really good futures. So yeah, that's a tricky one to kind of weigh up there. Now, the next thing, obviously, if he goes, the good draft compensation. Tricky one. We'll talk about it in a minute what we might get, but you'll get a good draft pick in return, you would have thought, whether it's after our first pick or at the end of the first round. That's kind of to be weighed up still. Keep Brian and Vizentini, obviously a positive, I think, in my eyes, and then the third is salary cap space. So we've got plenty of space there if you don't use that 800-900k, whatever he might be. If he signs on, the bad, obviously, you'll probably lose your best ruck. And when you put the most time into, are the other rucks ready? Vizentini, obviously there's a future there. Didn't look quite ready in the 2 games he's played. Nick Bryan, yes, he looked like he was having a really good year. Was doing really solid to start the year, but a knee injury. How long's he got to put him back for the preseason and into next year? Tricky one. Can he do solo ruck as well? We don't know that really yet at an AFL standard level. And then the third, obviously, if he goes, you might have to keep Goldie for another year, who's just about 70 years old. Obviously, he's tried his heart out, and I have no bad feelings against him. But yeah, I think it'd be best if we can move him on or have him as a ruck coach or an assistant coach of some sort. So yeah, there's a good and bads for both situations. Let's now look at how it all sits at the moment. So this is just from the information I've been able to gather. So Essendon offer of 4 years around the same as rival money, probably a little bit less, but around that 700-800k a year. This was April, May. This was reported, so that might have gone up by now. There was reports from that. But yeah, around that 700-800k a year for the 4 years. Adelaide's offer is of 5-6 years. He's got the go-home factor and on slightly more cash, and obviously they're having a really good year, growing powerhouse. But interestingly, with Riley O'Brien signing that 2-3 year extension last week, wonder what that means. But then obviously last night there was talk, Tom Morris, I think that's his name, come out and said that Matty Nix had been on the phone to Sam Draper. I don't really know what that means. Who knows what that means? That could just be a conversation, and that probably all clubs would have with people they're trying to get across the line, right? So that, I don't think that means he's looking towards going to the Crows. I think it's still pretty wide open between the 3 clubs, but that was reported last night. And then Brisbane, similar offer of years on most money, premiership winning side. Pretty easy to get drawn to that sort of offer. Brisbane know how to get players right with their bodies. They're in a window to win flags or be winning in finals for a long, long time. You get the 5-6 years, good weather. It might suit him. Plus, away from the footy spotlight, who knows if he wants that or not. But yeah, that offer is there, and I think that's one that he's considering as well. So obviously, if he leaves, what do we get in return? So Essendon will receive a first-round compensation if Draper leaves, if player salary is in top 5% of players. I kind of stuffed up where the Yan was. So yeah, if he does leave and the club he goes to, the salary for him is in the top 5% of players, we will get a first-round compensation, the pick after our first pick. So our pick currently is 4, so that will be pick 5. The other scenario, this is all to do with the Band 1, Band 2 compensation with how the free agency works. Essendon will receive an end of first-round compensation if Draper leaves and player salary is in top 10% of players. That's currently pick 19. That's probably going to blow out to the mid-20s with all the academy father-son sort of picks. But They're the two options I can see it being. Which one? It's hard to tell. It really does depend what the other teams would pay him. 800k by reports. If it's around 900, it's probably more that pick 19 end of first round compensation. But it'd be interesting to see what that ends up if he does goes. And that's kind of where the situation stands at the moment. And I don't think we'll know more for a while. Free agency doesn't start until the beginning of October, the week after the grand final. So we're actually going to go live for a lot of the trade period and the free agency period. It'll be a bit of fun. So keep an eye on that. I want to know what you think Sam Draper will do. Will he leave? Will he stay? If he does leave, which club is he going to go to? What compensation do you think we should get in return? All those, let me know in the comments below. I love having a discussion about it. Yeah, let me know what you think. What do you think Sam Draper will do? My prediction, Sammy Draper goes to Brisbane on a 5-year deal that will see us get an end of first round compensation, which is currently pick 19. Will end up being around probably pick 24, 25, 26. Somewhere along there. Is that worth it for Sammy Draper? You know what? Probably. People will reckon we need a top 10 pick for him, and that's what we deserve. Yes, I know Oscar Allen is probably going to give West Coast the second pick in the draft. He's been injury prone as well. Has he been better than Sammy Draper? I would argue probably not. But it's just the way it's the way the money works, how much money they get, and how it goes percentage wise. And then where your first pick is. So we still could get a high pick for him if they end up getting to that mill a year. But if it's around 800-900, more than likely end of first round compensation. And with all the blowouts for the academy picks and the father sons, that'll be about pick 24, 25. Not ideal. I would still take it. I kind of want Sammy Draper to stay. But I'm happy for him to leave. And if we get the compensation, either pick 5 or pick 19, I'm happy with both. Obviously, would much rather pick 5, but even if you get the end of first round, you're still going to get another good player coming into the system, another high draft pick. We already have 4 picks in the top 25 at the moment. Add another one in. If we trade in for one more, there's 5, 6 of really good young talent you're going to get through the door. You've got ruck back up in Brian, Vizentini, Blackiston, Wright. Peter Wright's done it if Goldie stays on another year. You've got options there. It'd be sad to see him go, but at least we know we're going to get some good compensation if he does, in my opinion. And yeah, that's basically the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the sort of content. I'll do one of these sorts of videos, once a week around all the other content. And if you have any video recommendations, definitely let me know below. Who you want me to talk about next. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day, and we'll be back with another video soon. See you later.